The idea that I just thought of, like if Rick Hahn wanted to keep Dylan Cease and he still believed that this contention window will exceed the 2023 season, which don't laugh, podcast listeners. Maybe they do believe that. And they do believe that Pedro Grifol will help right the ship with the new coaching staff to get this team back in line. I'm wondering if the only type of extension idea that Scott Boras would even pitch to Dylan Cease, Jim, would be something like 3 years, $60 million, where you take care of the next 2 years, $11 million, $21 million, and then you sign Cease, I should say, in his first year free agency for like $28 million. Because then you're doing Scott Boras a favor, because if Dylan Cease continues to pitch at this level, then he's already got a baseline of $28 million going to free agency, and you could hold on to Cease for one more year. I don't know how realistic that is. Scott Boras has negotiated contract extensions. The most famous case is Stephen Strasburg with the Washington Nationals. Thinking of. It's not going great, but the Nationals had to pay premium. They had to pay a premium rate. I mean, they had to pay the market rate to keep Stephen Strasburg. 7 years, $245 million. Garrett Cole beat him overall as far as total numbers, but the AAV is quite similar between Cole and Strasburg. And that might be the same message as well from Boras to the White Sox front office. If they have the appetite, if they wanted to keep Dylan Cease long-term, that it would have to be one of these big contracts that we've seen for like 6-7 years. And as you just mentioned, I already know the White Sox don't have the appetite for that type of contract. And good Dylan Cease is. So I'm wondering if there's some type of middle ground that could be struck to keep Dylan Cease longer than the 2025 season, maybe keep him for the 2026 season. But as I discuss this more and just think aloud here, I don't even know what kind of team the White Sox would be in 2026. So I don't even know if they have the appetite for it. But Dylan Cease is going to make a lot of money based on the conversation.
Yeah, Stephen Strasburg, actually, he originally signed a 7-year, $175 million extension with the Nationals, and then he opted out for the bigger deal. Like, he opted out midway through and then was able to sign an even bigger contract. So that's kind of the first contract I had in mind. And, might have a similar opt-out to where, like, Cease can really make, even like, Garrett Cole grade money. That's kind of what I'm thinking for Cease, would be along those lines of the original Strasburg extension, not the second one. Because, the first one was okay. Second one, not so much.